My stepbrother insisted that I leave the house during my stepfather's burial, believing it was his, until the will revealed otherwise. My stepdad Robert died of a heart attack in March. He'd been in my life since I was 8 years old, married my mom when I was 10, and basically raised me as his own kid. My biological dad wasn't in the picture, so Robert was the only father I ever really knew. His son from his first marriage, Derek, was 28 and hadn't visited in almost 3 years. He lived 2 states away and only called on holidays, if that. But the second Robert died, Derek showed up at our house acting like he owned the place. My mom had passed away from cancer 2 years earlier, so it was just me and Robert in that house. I was 24, working full-time and helping Robert with bills and groceries. We'd become really close after mom died, watching old movies together and cooking dinner every Sunday. The day of the funeral, I was in the kitchen making sandwiches for people coming back to the house after the burial. Derek walked in wearing an expensive suit I'd never seen before and told me I needed to leave, just like that. He said the house belonged to him now, and I had until the end of the week to pack my stuff. I thought he was joking at first, asked him what he was talking about. Derek pulled out his phone and showed me a text conversation with someone, claiming he'd already talked to a lawyer about transferring the deed. Said as the biological son, everything automatically went to him. I told him that's not how it works and that Robert had a will. Derek laughed in my face, said I wasn't blood, so whatever Robert left me would be insignificant compared to what he was getting. He actually told me I should be grateful if Robert left me anything at all, considering I wasn't really his daughter. That hurt worse than anything. I'd spent 2 years taking care of Robert, driving him to doctor appointments, making sure he took his medications, sitting with him on bad days when he missed my mom so much he couldn't stop crying. Where was Derek during all of that? Nowhere. At the funeral, Derek sat in the front row like he was the grieving son, gave this whole speech about how much Robert meant to him and how close they were. People who actually knew Robert kept glancing at me with confused looks because everyone knew Derek barely called. After the burial, everyone came back to the house. Derek was walking around talking about his plans for the place. He told Robert's best friend Martin that he was thinking about selling it and using the money to invest in some business opportunity. Martin pulled me aside and asked if I knew about the will. I told him Derek had been saying the house was his, but I didn't know what Robert's actual plans were. Martin got this look on his face and said I should talk to Robert's lawyer as soon as possible. Monday morning, I called Mr. Peterson, the lawyer who handled Robert's estate. Derek had apparently already called him 3 times over the weekend, demanding to know when he could take possession of the house. Mr. Peterson asked both of us to come to his office that afternoon for the will reading. Derek showed up in another expensive suit carrying a leather folder like he was closing a business deal. He kept checking his watch and sighing like this was wasting his time. Mr. Peterson opened the will and started reading. Robert had left his car and some personal items to Derek, about $10,000 from a savings account. Derek was nodding along like he expected way more. Then Mr. Peterson got to the house. He read the sections slowly and clearly. The house, along with Robert's life insurance policy and the bulk of his savings, went entirely to me. Derek's face went white. He stood up and said there must be a mistake. Mr. Peterson showed him the document, signed and dated from 6 months ago. There was even a letter attached that Robert had written. Mr. Peterson handed it to me and I read it out loud. Robert wrote that I'd been more of a child to him in the past 2 years than Derek had been in 28. That I showed up when it mattered. That family isn't just about blood, it's about who stays. Derek tried to argue, said he'd contest the will, claimed Robert wasn't in his right mind. Mr. Peterson calmly explained that Robert had specifically anticipated this reaction, which is why he'd included detailed notes about his reasoning and had the will witnessed by multiple people, including his doctor. Everything was airtight. Derek grabbed his leather folder and stormed out. Didn't even say goodbye, just got in his fancy car and drove off. I sat there holding Robert's letter, crying in Mr. Peterson's office for 20 minutes. That house meant everything to me. Not because of the money, but because it was the home Robert and my mom built, where all my memories lived. Derek never showed up to collect his inheritance. Mr. Peterson had to mail him the check. I'm still living in that house now, keeping Robert's study exactly how he left it.